Hey there. Ready for a deep dive? We're going deep, deep into some really thought-provoking stuff today about faith.
Definitely.
We're going way beyond just surface level, right? We're talking about a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
That could totally change how you see yourself, how you see those struggles, and even your relationship with God. Like, seriously big stuff.
Yeah.
So we're unpacking today some excerpts from Elise Fitzpatrick's talk on being chosen by God.
Oh, I love Elise Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
She's got this amazing way of taking like these really complex theological ideas
Yes.
and just making them so personal and applicable,
Totally.
to our everyday lives. And this talk,
Yeah.
it's like the epitome of that.
It really is. And she just jumps right in. She doesn't waste any time, right into Ephesians 1, reminding us that we are blessed with every spiritual blessing. Every single one.
It's like, wait, really? All of them?
Right. Even for me.
Yeah.
And then, get this, she says that being chosen isn't some happy accident.
Right.
This was planned before the universe even existed.
Whoa.
We're talking a plan so grand, so intentional that it included you from the very beginning.
Right.
Chosen to be holy and blameless.
See, and that's what's so fascinating here, because Fitzpatrick really emphasizes that this isn't like a command,
Right.
It's not like, go make yourself holy and blameless.
Right.
It's a declaration. It's already done.
Whoa.
And I think that's a big one,
It's huge.
because so many of us, we get tripped up right there.
Yeah.
We wrestle with this guilt, this feeling of being unworthy. Like we constantly have to prove ourselves to God.
Yes.
But when we grab onto this perspective, this truth that we are already chosen,
Yeah.
already declared holy and blameless in His eyes, it changes everything.
It really does. It really does. It's like we've been given the ultimate, stamp of approval.
Yes.
Not because of anything we've done, but because of who H.E. is.
Exactly. And that is huge because it shifts the whole narrative.
Yes.
It's not about us striving to earn God's love or acceptance through our actions, through being good enough or doing enough religious things.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that it's already ours, given freely and unconditionally.
Wow. So if we're already considered holy and blameless in God's eyes, how does that change how we live? How do we practically live that out?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where this whole idea of being chosen, it starts to take root. It blooms in our lives.
Okay.
Because when we believe that we're inherently flawed, and let's face it, we all mess up. Right?
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Right. Every mistake just kind of reinforces that belief. Like,
Yeah.
see, I messed up again.
Totally.
It's this weight that we carry around.
Yes.
But knowing that we're chosen, that we are fully known and fully loved, despite our imperfections, that's what frees us.
Okay.
It allows us to actually fight against sin. Not from this place of fear or obligation,
Right.
but from a place of love and gratitude.
Because
We're responding to His amazing grace.
that makes me think about all the times I've tried to hide my failures from God. Pretend they didn't happen or try to make up for them on my own. Yeah.
But Fitzpatrick talks about finding that grace even in our failures.
Yes.
It's about acknowledging those moments where, yeah, we mess up, we fall short. But, and this is the big, but
Yes.
still approaching God with open hands,
Yes.
ready to receive His forgiveness, not with fists clenched, trying to earn it.
Because even in those moments, even in those failures, we are reminded of His unwavering love.
It's true.
We're reminded that we're chosen not because of our ability to be perfect, but because of His perfect love for us.
Wow.
And that's where true transformation can begin.
It's like a completely different way of thinking about our faith, about ourselves.
And this is where it gets really interesting to me. Fitzpatrick talks about experiencing unspeakable joy because of this chosen identity. But what about those times, and they happen to all of us, right, where we feel anything but joyful, especially when we keep making those same mistakes?
It's so easy to get stuck in those moments.
Right.
You're human. It's going to happen.
We're human. It's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where that foundation of being chosen, of being fully known and fully loved by God,
Yeah.
that's where it becomes even more crucial.
Okay.
Because we have to remember that spiritual growth, like anything else worth pursuing,
Yeah.
it's not linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of victory, moments where we stumble.
Totally.
But even in those downs, even when we feel discouraged or like we're just, totally defeated, we need to remember that our identity,
Yeah.
it doesn't change. We are still chosen. We are still loved.
So instead of beating ourselves up for those slip-ups,
Yeah.
we acknowledge them, we thank God for his grace, and we keep moving forward.
Precisely. It's not about us achieving some impossible standard of perfection, but about embracing the journey.
The messy journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
With all of its messy and beautiful imperfections, just knowing that we're walking hand in hand with a God who loves us no matter what. And that changes everything.
So we're not striving for this like impossible standard of perfection, right?
Right.
We're embracing the journey, the ups, the downs, knowing that God's love, it's constant through it all.
It's a game changer for sure.
It really is. It makes me think of, oh gosh, what's that song? I love that song, the worship song.
Yeah.
It says, your love is higher than my failures.
Deeper than my doubts.
Yes. It's like this constant reassurance.
Always there.
Always there, even when we don't feel it.
Exactly. And, that's what sets us free to actually live authentically,
Okay.
to step into who we really are in Christ. You see, when we're so busy trying to earn God's love,
Right.
we're constantly performing, always trying to present this like perfect version of ourselves.
Oh, I've been there, and it is exhausting. And honestly, it's not even who we really are.
It's not. It's not. But when we can really grasp the depth of his love for us,
Yeah.
when we truly internalize that we are chosen, not because of anything we've done, but because of who HE is,
Yeah.
it dismantles that need to perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
It frees us to be vulnerable, to say, hey, I mess up, to embrace our imperfections.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
That's where the real growth happens.
Okay.
In those raw, real spaces.
Yes.
Where we allow ourselves to be fully known, fully loved.
Just like in those moments of vulnerability,
Yeah.
we're actually drawing closer to God,
Right.
not pushing him away.
Exactly. It's about shifting from this performance-based relationship with God
Oh, yeah.
to a love-based relationship. And that is a whole different ballgame.
It really is. And it makes me think about, Fitzpatrick's emphasis on this idea of living to the praise of his glorious grace.
Yes.
How would you say this understanding of being chosen, of being declared holy and blameless in God's eyes, empowers us to live differently, to live more freely, more joyfully, even in the middle of our struggles?
That is the beautiful paradox, isn't it?
It really is.
When we truly understand the magnitude of God's grace, when we get that our identity is rooted in his love
Mm-hmm.
and not in our own, fickle performance, it changes everything.
Okay.
It's like this weight is lifted,
Yeah.
and in its place is this incredible sense of freedom, of purpose. Because we're no longer defined by our mistakes or failures.
Oh.
We're defined by his love.
Fitzpatrick, she uses this phrase.
Yeah.
I love this. Unspeakable joy.
Yes.
She's talking about the joy that comes from really knowing who we are in Christ,
Yeah.
from knowing that we are chosen, but, and I'm going to be honest, that joy, sometimes it feels a little elusive,
Oh, yeah.
especially when life throws those curveballs and we're like wrestling with the same old struggles. How do we tap into that? How do we tap into that unshakable joy, even when we don't feel joyful?
That's such a great question.
Ah.
It's something I think we all wrestle with at some point.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Joy, true joy, it's not dependent on our circumstances.
Okay.
It's not about feeling happy all the time.
Right.
It's about having this deep-seated assurance that we are loved, that we are held, that we are never alone no matter what life throws at us.
That makes sense. So it's not about chasing after some fleeting feeling of happiness.
Exactly.
It's about resting in that deep, abiding truth
Yes.
that we are loved no matter what.
No matter what. And, it's like, it goes back to that fundamental truth that we keep coming back to.
What's that?
We are chosen. We are loved, not because of anything we've done.
Yeah.
Not because we've earned it, but simply because he chose us, called us his own.
Wow.
And that love, that choice, it's unchangeable. It doesn't waver.
It doesn't waver. Even when...
Even when we mess up, when life throws curveballs our way, it's constant.
Yeah.
It's like an anchor for our souls.
So even when we don't feel joyful, we can still cling to that truth.
Yes.
That we are loved, that we are chosen.
And that's where our true identity lies.
Our true identity, not in our performance, not in our ability to be perfect,
Exactly.
but in his love for us.
Yes. It's about holding on to that truth, even when our feelings try to tell us otherwise.
Because our feelings, they can be so up and down.
Oh, tell me about it. They're fickle,
Right.
like the tide, they ebb and flow. but our identity in Christ,
Right.
that's unwavering.
Wow.
And as we fix our eyes on him, as we remind ourselves of his promises, we open ourselves up to experience that deep, abiding joy that surpasses our circumstances.
This has been incredible, eye-opening, a real aha moment for me. This idea that my identity, it's rooted in God's love for me, not in my performance, not in my ability to be perfect.
It's incredibly freeing, isn't it?
It's incredibly liberating, and it just makes me want to approach everything differently,
Yeah.
My relationship with God, with myself, with more grace, more freedom.
And isn't that the beauty of grace?
It is.
It transforms us from the inside out.
It really does. As we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. How would embracing this truth, this understanding that you are chosen, that you are so deeply and unconditionally loved by God, how would it change how you approach your everyday life? How you see yourself, your struggles, your relationship with God?
It's a question worth asking yourself.
It is. Until next time, keep diving deep, friends.